Welcome to another video. In this video we'll talk about the date and time element. Chances are many times you're going to push date and time to Salesforce, so we will show you how to do that right now. Now back in Salesforce here, I've created just a simple date and time field, sorry. It's called date and time, so you essentially choose date and then your time, and this is what we're going to use to push to Salesforce. Created a first name last name field. Over to the elements menu under the input you have date and time. Alright, now click on the gear icon here. You can modify all the attributes. If you want to modify all the styling attributes, then you click on the style icon, and then over to the gear icon you can modify the content, like the label. So I can say date time label. I can change the placeholder. If you want to use the current date time, you can do that, and then when you choose that option you can modify what format you want it in. Okay, that's for whenever the user enters the portal, that's the current date and time. You can give it a default value. Let's say I wanted to select, January, and then I want it to be certain period. I can do that now, and I can insert that value back in there like this. Alright, so that's also possible if you want to give it a default value, and then again you can change the format, you can change the time format. All that is possible. This is where you do the interactivity. If you want to disable it, you can. If you want to change the onload, you can. Make it mandatory, you can. This is where you configure the Salesforce integration for your push and get. This is where you write a condition. If a date and time meets a certain criteria, you can run other actions off it. This is where you adjust validation rules. You can write animation for it. You can write metadata for it. Once that is done, and you're familiar and happy with that, let me show you how the push works. So here, we're going to create a contact. And in the mapping, last name will go last name, first name will go first name, and my field date / time will go into date / time. Literally as simple as that. And then once that is done, go over to your button, assign this action, and then you are good to go. So I'm going to save, I'm going to preview, we're going to say date, time, contact, and then simply go ahead and choose any date and then any time. So you can adjust your time first. Let's say 12:30 AM on 30th of January. Okay, and then there it is. And then all you do is go ahead and click submit. Once you've done that, it's now pushed the data. Go over to Salesforce. There's my date time contact, and as you can see, there is my date time example that's come right in. Now it does depend on the time your org is in, or the time you've set in the settings. Don't worry, we'll show you that. But this is how essentially you would push the data back into Salesforce for date / time or date and time element.